Hi everyone, I am going to be doing the Q&A Fit Model edition. I am ready to do this. I think it's been long overdue. I'm going to go get a clip. I am so happy to do this one. I feel like there's a lot of great questions that have been asked, and I am here to answer them. Of course, all of this is from my perspective, my opinions, and just kind of my thoughts, you know. So first question was, I got a lot of posing questions, but I think I'm gonna do the posing ones in a different video. Just for the people who asked about the transitions and stuff, I think that would be better in demonstrations. But as far as other things, I will definitely touch on those. So what are your thoughts on where the division is at right now, and what are they rewarding? I think this is a really great question. I truly believe when I look at some of the national shows, a lot of the front poses look, with their body type and conditioning, can look very similar, but I think the shows are one from the back. You know, I definitely think the girls who are winning the shows, getting the overalls, they have the nice round, full glutes. I think with not the conditioning being too extreme where we don't see those tie-ins. So I definitely think they are rewarding those full rounded glutes. I love where it's at right now. My fear is that it's gonna get too conditioning and too muscular in the pro season, especially with a lot of bikini pros who might be coming down to fit model. That would be a concern I have for the future, but as far as where it's at right now, I think all of the overall winners, there's a standard already being set with them. And it's like a not too conditioned, but they are conditioned, you know. Also, I think what they're rewarding is not too much shoulder development. So they want to see nice developed shoulders, but not that roundness, you know. And then I think really like nice symmetry. So like the small waist, the silhouette, that like nice way to show balance, you know, with that front pose. What's one thing you wish you knew before your pro shows? Okay, I haven't had any pro shows yet. I know they're gonna be next year. Word on the street is that the first one's gonna be back in Japan, Tokyo. I would love to go back. Honestly, it is my favorite vacation spot, so please let it be there. One thing you wish you knew before your pro shows. I'm gonna answer this as one thing I wish I knew before my amateur shows, like leading up to my pro qualifier. I mean, each show, I wish I learned, like I learned something different, you know? For instance, the first the first ever fit model show, we learned a lot about suit regulations, you know, especially the bottom cut was way too small. So I learned a lot there. So I could think back and being like, wow, I wish my suit met criteria. And then with the second show, I learned a lot about tanning. You know, I thought I was a little bit too dark. And I learned more about how I want to do my front pose. Because after the second show, I thought, I wish I didn't do my front pose like that anymore. So going into Japan, which was the first national or the first pro qualifier for fit model, I wish I knew a lot about how the tanning was going to be done, the hair, the makeup. I didn't know. It was overseas, but now I do know. So now when I go back to Japan, I have a few tricks up my sleeve that I'm going to be incorporating. And then going on to the Jay Cutler, to me, that's my favorite show that I've done to date. I loved how I looked. I loved my presentation. I loved that it was a home show, meaning it was in Vegas. I loved everything about it. The awards, the photography, the venue. I guess for that show, I wish I knew how cold it would be backstage at the South Point Hotel because it was pretty cold. As far as Fresno, I learned to not do my hair on stage the way I did. I didn't like how my hair was done, so it just looked kind of flat. There was no volume to it because I just straightened it. And then for my national, where I got my pro card at Pittsburgh Power Fit, for that one, I did get an Airbnb. However, for show day, and I wanted to be right there, so then the last minute, I booked to go to the show venue, like the hotel host, because I wanted to be right there. So I'm glad I did that. I'm so thankful that I did that, even though we had to move our luggages and everything, because I like to be right there. Now that I do know, most likely we'll probably just book the hotel for the whole week instead of getting an Airbnb. But we'll see. I mean, I like Airbnbs because I like to cook and they have usually a full kitchen. But we'll see. But with that show, I didn't really think that I wish I knew something that I didn't know. I don't know if that makes any sense. Sorry if I'm all lost in the sauce today, y'all. I feel like with every show, I'm always learning something new, and there's always something that I can apply for my next shows. But yeah. Any tips for lower glute development? I mean, I'm really big on mind-muscle connection, not going too heavy, because I truly believe if someone goes too heavy and do compounds and go really heavy, you're not isolating the muscle anymore. And I'm big on isolation. So to me, that's bodybuilding. You're sculpting your body however way you want to. And if the heavier you go, the less control you're going to have. Meaning if I'm going heavy with squats, it's not just going to be glutes. I'm going to be using quads, hamstrings, core, abdomen, probably back, a little bit of upper body, because I'm trying to use all the other weight to help me lift that weight. So I'm not so big on going heavy. So for lower glute development, I would say focus on isolating as much as you can. Don't do as many compounds. Some of my favorite exercises are hip thrusts for that lower glute. When I'm thinking lower glute, I'm thinking the glute ham insertion, where they connect the tie-in area. And I'm thinking, okay, I would do some hip thrust. I would do abductions, but with abductions, I would do them more neutral stance, not too lean forward or too lean back. I would do one leg presses. There's a lot of different movements you can do. It's just making sure you're having that mind-muscle connection. You're not going too heavy or else other muscles are going to kick in. But I'm really, really big. If you see any of my videos where I train, I don't go extremely heavy at all because I'm trying to just focus on the area I want to improve and grow on. Posing tips to look confident and graceful. Ooh. I'll post my link in bio if you want to book, but here are just a few that I'll give. Don't look down. I see a lot of girls look down with their head. I feel like if you look down with your head, you're already lost, and you should be confident enough to keep your head up high the whole time, smiling. Another posing tip I would say is don't swing your arms around too much. I feel like you want to have control over your body the whole time you're on stage, and you want the focus to be about the body. It's not about the hand dazzles and stuff. It's about how we're presenting ourselves. So I wouldn't do too much of the hand movements. It could be very distracting. And another tip to look confident, I say, is eye contact. You know, you want to make sure you are making eye contact with the judges. Don't look off at the audience. Don't look anywhere else. Don't look down. Look right at the judges, because that eye contact is so important in showing that I'm here, I see you, you see me. Those would be a few of my tips. Of course, if you want to book, learn more, link in bio. Advice for the girls deciding if they're fit model or bikini. Woo-hoo. Okay, I wasn't sure if I was fit model or bikini, and they announced the new division in December. I want to say like the first or second week of December. And it happened to be Miss Sandy Williamson was coming in town for a seminar, a posing seminar. And I immediately knew I wanted to be in front of her. I wanted her feedback, her eyes, to see what division I should go for. So I went in with the fit model, you know, just a regular bathing suit, and asked if, you know, what her thoughts. And she said, fit model, look great. You're a little too conditioned, but that's what we want. I said, great. That's amazing. And then when I did the LA Fit Expo later, a few weeks after, and after that show, I did reach out to Sandy and I asked her via email, you know, they have all of their emails on the NPC website, you know, what her thoughts were. Should I continue with fit model or should I go to bikini? And just for any input. And I truly believe girls who are struggling, if they're fit model or bikini, reach out to the judges. You know, reach out, ask for their advice. That's why they're there. I think they're there to kind of guide us. And those are the people that we're going to be in front of, you know. So I would highly recommend reaching out to them and asking them, even before you step on stage, you know, doing the fit model pose and then doing the bikini pose, which one am I suited for most? Do I have enough muscle density for bikini? Should I do fit model for now? And just see what their responses are and do a show, right? Because anything can look different in person, in pictures. Do a fit model show if you're unsure. And, you know, reach out, ask for that feedback. I don't think a lot of people take advantage of the amazing support that we have around us in the league. You know, yes, our coaches are there, but sometimes our coaches could be biased because they see us as like, wow, we look so great and have so much muscle. But compared to other girls, we might not have as much muscle, you know? So I think coaches sometimes can be biased. So I would say reach out to the judges, reach out to I wouldn't say like Reddit, you know, because I feel like I want to get advice from, you know, the top judges, and I want to see where they're thinking, where their head's at, because that's the end goal for me, you know, is getting on that pro stage, getting my Olympia qualification. And of course, my dream is to win the Olympia, right? Who doesn't dream that big? But that would be my advice. If you're deciding, if you're in between fit model or bikini, reach out to the judges. That's why they're there. That they do so many seminars. Take advantage of these seminars. Go to them, even if it's a 2 or 3 hour drive. At least they can see you in person, and you can really get that feedback and move on from there. Another one about some certain transitions. So a lot of people are asking like how I do my transitions and what I would recommend transitionings and stuff like that. As I said earlier, I think I'm gonna do a separate video of just transitions and posing to really help out, because I feel like that's more demonstration stuff. And I love posing, and the more I'm doing it, I think the more I'm seeing these physiques, you know, and able to tell them, you know, maybe feet in, feet wider, because what I'm looking for when I'm going through posing someone is finding the balance for that competitor. Not everyone's going to have their leg out a certain way or their leg in or shifting their body a certain way. Everyone, I realize, is going to be so different in how they shift themselves, because we're trying to find that balance in their front pose, and it's more of a head-on front pose as opposed to bikini. So I do think this fit model division, the front pose is going to be a little bit harder, because we're trying to show a nice shape, a nice balance facing more forward, which could be a challenge for some people. So highly recommend, if you haven't already booked here, I know I'm like advertising myself, but I swear like getting that second just eyes too is so helpful. When are you planning on doing your first pro show? Okay. I would love to go back to Japan, and honestly, like I just want to go to Japan. It's not even about like winning the first one. It's about going back to Japan and seeing everything I didn't see the first time. For instance, I want to go to Nintendo World. I'm bringing my son with us this time if, you know, things go accordingly. There's a few things that I want to just experience in Japan because I felt like it was my first time and I was skeptical to go around places just because I, you know, was so show focused. And but this time, like, okay, I know where we're gonna stay if we go back. I know what's, you know, the rhythm, but I just want to go to Japan. And then winning would be the cherry on top. Japan, once it's announced, if it's announced, that would be the first one. I want to get different perspectives, you know. I definitely want to just, I don't want to say do as many, because I'm not planning on doing every single pro show, but definitely do ones that I think are going to have a lot of competitors in them, because I want to go up against, you know, a fruitful amount of competitors, but that way I can really get really good feedback. That's one thing I didn't really get last year, or while I've been competing, I didn't get any feedback. So at least feedback that's something like I want to be told bigger glutes or smaller waist, or, you know, I love being told things that I can improve on, because I thrive on positive criticism and improving, and I love feedback. So I want to do a few shows, get any feedback I can possibly get, and then be resilient, keep going from next show to next show, give myself time depending on how those shows go. And it's just all matter of time, you know, and 100% I will be doing the Pittsburgh. That's where I got my pro card. That is home. That is where I will be going back. I know for a fact that's going to be a huge fit model show. Just the people I've talked to, they're going to be going there. So I know that show is going to be huge, and I'm so excited for it. That's going to be an amazing show. All right. So I know there was only a few questions, and I know I took a minute on each of them. I want to keep doing these though, maybe not weekly, the Q&As, but definitely monthly, especially as the division's evolving. But thank you guys for tuning in. I cannot wait to do more of these, give you guys my thoughts on what's going on in this fit model world and connect with you guys. So I will see you guys on the next vlog, which I will be vlogging this week. I hope you guys have a blessed rest of your week. If you guys have any more questions, drop them below. I'm curious on what your thoughts are. Let me know if you agree or disagree with anything. I'm always open for conversation, different perspectives. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.